Alright, let's go ahead and do it. Alright, hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Hope you guys are having a good Saturday evening. And yeah, we're gonna jump in and do not a whole lot tonight. We do have a little bit of painting to do, but honestly, I had finished most of the painting that I was aiming to get done tonight already. And I just decided we'll just add a couple of more to these. So these are Showgirls. If you are familiar with the Malifaux first edition miniatures. So we're painting first edition Showgirls. And hey, what's up, Canvas? And I'm not gonna like actually paint them. Well, let's just jump into it. I'm not gonna paint that. I'm actually not painting them as the models. This is gonna be far easier than that because I have. I'm actually using these as markers. They're not going to end up being. They're not going to end up being models, if that makes sense. So we will paint the wood flooring. So you'll just see how easy I'm making these, because, like I said, they're going to be markers. They're not going to be miniatures or models, I should say. Okay, so we'll just get these done. You guys feel free to ask me whatever you like. We're going to hang out for a little bit. I'll show you some of the stuff I've been painting lately, and we'll just get into it. So I know this is super exciting, right? Just painting in some wood flooring here. And the goal here is just to have these painted up as quickly as possible. So you'll see, once I start painting these and I explain what they are, you're going to be like, oh, okay. You're just basically painting markers. That's all I'm doing. Okay. What have you been up to, Canvas? You playing any games? Chilling? Yeah, that's as easy as that's gonna be. So that's the wood. We will do a little highlight on that later, but let's go ahead and get to the main bits of these models, and they're all just gonna be one color, and it's just gonna be this. I forget the name of this color. This is like the plasma speed paint color. And we're just gonna paint the entire model in this plasma color. Okay, and I'll explain why in a second. Only playing Warcry. Cool. That's cool. Yeah, Warcry's a decent game. I played it before. You know I'm not a GW fan, but I can enjoy Warcry for what it's worth. It's been a while since I played that game, but yeah, that's cool. As you know, we were playing some Middle Earth. We still play that game. It's still in rotation. We've been playing a lot of Batman, and most recently, we started picking up some more Malifaux again. So Malifaux is back in season right now, which is why I'm painting up these minis. You can see I'm not really putting too much time into this particular miniature because it's not what it's for. And for those of you who are aware of what the title Colette Smuggler master is, these are her. I'm going to be using these as decoy markers. So That's why they're just getting this treatment. They're not getting the full. They're not getting a full miniature treatment. We're just doing this. And I love these sculpts. These are some of my favorite sculpts. Part of the reason why I, really enjoyed Malifaux originally was for sculpts like these. Coming from 40K and Blood Bowl and Fantasy. Back then, you basically just painted buff dudes, and buff dudes that were that were, I guess, ladies, but they weren't, or at least let me say they looked more like just kind of dudes, and they just swapped a head. And even the head, the lady head pretty much still looked like the dude head in the old like GW things. I guess what I'm saying is we didn't paint a lot of dresses, on from the popular miniature games before, and so moving over to a game like Malifaux and um, you know getting to paint something radically different like a showgirl really appealed to me, and uh, having your crew look like basically civilians was very appealing to me. You don't need everything to look and feel like war, right? So that's why this crew appealed to me. And then, the mechanics of kind of being an illusionist crew, that really got to me. So I'd been with this crew for quite a long time. And I'm still playing them. This is still the keyword I run in Malifaux. So, hey, what's up, Tactical? Paying Cowboy Goblins was a real challenge. Yeah, Gremlins were super fun. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff about Malifaux back in the day. So, we're gonna let these dry for just half a second, okay? But I'll show you what else, like the other decoy markers I've been painting. So, for those of you who remember, Colette had an avatar version in Malifaux 1.5, and her avatar was 3 sculpts of Colette. So you put 3 when you in 1.5 when you switched to your avatar version, you took the Colette model and replaced it with 3 different Colette models, and you played this. Hey, what's up, Nelson? So you would switch from one model to these 3 models, and you would play a shell game where 2 of the models were decoys and 1 was the real Colette. And back then you could take an action from any of your decoy models. So this is the 3rd Colette sculpt. These were so good, the metal sculpts. They were so cool. And the detail, look at the detail on the face. Like really characterful. The one with the bunny is actually, her face is really interesting. It has a lot of character to it. See that? A lot of nice character. Doesn't this actually looks a lot like the limited Angelica, where it's a rabbit pulling Angelica out of the hat? Pretty cool. So anyways, that's how the Avatar Colette used to work like, and that's how it's not that different from how the new Colette 2, how she works, is she makes these decoy markers, and that's what these are. These are decoy markers, and she can use these decoy markers to go around the board and do her actions, which is an incredibly interesting mechanic. Oh, it's Andrew. Hey, what's up, Andrew? Andrew changed his name again. So it's a really cool mechanic, the decoy mechanic, and I didn't want to just put markers on the board. Because the first time I was playing Colette 2, people would like not understand that I'm like moving. I would just move. It's like taking one of these and moving up the board and going, okay, I'm gonna move here and I'm gonna attack your guy. And they go, what? You're attacking me with what? What is that? And I'd be, that's my decoy. My decoy is attacking you, right? So, anyways, that's what I was doing, and it just visually it didn't make a lot of sense. This helps people um, understand what the mechanic really is, because then you can see it and go, oh, that's so he just kind of made like a decoy copy of Colette that's gonna run around the board and act like her, and that's the that's the mechanic. Let's see, a lot of so what are these iconic models about? They come in two different sizes. Are they tournament legal? Yes, the 30 millimeter scale is legal to use in tournaments. So yes, they are legal. The bigger scale is not legal to use in tournaments. It's just if you want to paint a nicer kind of version of the model. So so yeah. Anyways, so 3 of my decoy markers are actual Colette. These are like faker. These are just generic showgirls, but they look close enough, and they're gonna look fine on the board, right? So I got these underway, um, and then we can talk a little bit about. Well, I could also show you guys. Well, these are drying up a little bit. I could show you the Carnival crew that I painted up last time, and I still want to move on and paint my other Carnival faction. Carnivale. I can't say Carnivale. I don't know why. To me, it's just Carnival. Let's see. Tactical says we're creating a new YouTube channel for my game and Lord of the Rings. Nice. If I'm a billionaire like Jeff Bezos, I'd make Malifaux TV series. The lore is just fascinating. Yeah, the Malifaux lore does kind of get you hooked, and it's one of my favorite things about the game is you can pick your favorite master in the lore and just play them on the field, and you know even if you just get stomped every game, you at least get to play your masters like their playstyle, what they you can attempt to play like how they are in the lore. So Colette's whole thing is like illusions and shell games and tricking people. Um, on the in the in the game. So, all right. So let's go ahead and so you can see I'm not basing them in my typical like black bases either, because again I want people to understand it's a marker, it's not a model. So when people walk up and it's like I'm gonna charge your decoy marker, you can be like you can't do that. I'm gonna shoot at your decoy. It doesn't work that way. You can destroy decoy markers like you can any other destructible terrain, but yeah, you can't like launch attacks on them. So anyway, so I was working on some other stuff too earlier in the evening. So you guys saw the 3. So now I have 5 decoy markers I can field, which is good because it's a 5-turn game. Although I could, it is possible to make more than 5 decoy markers in a game. I don't think I made more than, I think I made like 6 decoy markers in my game. 5 is okay for now. If one breaks, then um, we can make another one. I also have been painting like some. Um, actually repainting some of my old construct minis. This is the mobile toolkit, which is honestly one of my favorite miniatures in the game. It's so cool looking to me for some reason. I just really like it. Um, and it's just this cool little pipsqueak robot that runs around and helps people out. Um, I haven't quite justified the points for it yet, but it's so fun. I don't know. I might do it. It'd be such a waste, but I might do it. I might do it just to have something fun come of that. Um, that might be fun. Anyways, so that's a mobile toolkit. I did not repaint this uh, this medical automaton, but I should. I was thinking about, okay, I might want to have this in my arsenal. Um, and then I also did not repaint this saboteur, but probably should. You can see it's just contrast paint. Probably could, try to bring a little bit more life into that miniature. And then I also have this guy here, which is the brass arachnid. Again, incredible model. So difficult to stick to a base, though. Look at these legs. It's not easy to put this guy on a base, but it's super cool mini. I really like this guy, and I really like the mobile toolkit. Some of my favorites. Um, and then electrical creations. They're just basically they're kind of like robotic ghost landmine things. And I can have 3 of these, but I only have 2 at the moment. So I'm gonna have to go try to find me more, because I could end up making 3. And then last, but certainly not least, I have my favorite male character in the entire series of Malifaux, Dr. Victor Ramos. My Ramos has a toupee. he's rocking more hair on the top of his head than Ramos typically is. I will be honest with you guys, this is a self-insert. Some of you who remember my old steampunk gear will recall that I actually have this outfit, this whole thing. But I really do love Ramos. Always been like one of my all-time favorites. And here's the thing, right? Ramos is he's Dead Man's Hand, which means in Malifaux terms it means he is currently not tournament legal, and he's not tournament legal for there's a fluff reason and then there's a mechanics reason for him. The mechanics reason is that they did not feel like the M3E, the third edition folks, did not feel like they could make a version of the game that balanced summoning, like heavy summoning masters, like him and Nicodem. And the fluff reason is that Nicodem gets killed and Ramos goes to jail. So this character, Ramos, is currently in jail. You can play most of his crew, but yeah, he's in jail. He's Dead Man's Hand. He's not tournament legal, but he is legal for a local tournament that's coming up. And I'm like, oh man, that's so cool. Because he's my favorite character, like I want to play him. I think he's just I think he's just so much fun. And so I do want to play him, but you know, which means I'm going to have to relearn him. But here's the twist. I have a twist, you see. As you could tell, I was painting Colette 2 decoy markers, right? So this tournament is allowing double masters or dual masters. So you can have a leader master and you can have a second master, and it's allowing Dead Man's Hand. So so I'm crafting this crew list that I want to run. That is a Colette 2 crew. She's the declared master, but my man Ramos is coming in here as the second master. I thought about doing it the other way and having Ramos the declared master and having Colette 2 as the secondary master. It doesn't quite work out as well as I would like it to that way. But I don't know. We'll see. The main thing is with Colette 2, I really like to run her with Angelica, because that potentially prints me 2 soul stones per turn and a couple of decoy markers, which are important for Colette. And Ramos, from a needs standpoint, he doesn't need all that much. He is a summoner master, so you don't really need much from him. But I do want to stick this brass arachnid in with him because the brass arachnid is a very cool totem and pretty cheap. And that's what you're trying to do, right? You are paying 16 soul stones to stick him in a Colette crew, which is ridiculous because that's a Corfi duet, which is capable of amazing things, one of the best models in the entire game. But I want to play. I recognize that's a better buy, but I also want to have a fun game. And I want to play fun things. And this little guy might actually make it into the list. I don't know. I like him so much, but I don't know if he makes the list or not. We'll see. Right? So, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, that's what's going on at my painting table right now. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a little touch up on the Saboteur here. And let's get the Saboteur into things. But so you can see a little bit of what my list is about. Is it's going to have it's going to have Colette 2, it'll have Ramos, and it's not going to have a Saboteur. So sorry. The Saboteur would have come in if it's a Ramos list with Colette as a second master. And the reason why I would put a Saboteur in would be to give the Saboteur Arcane Reservoir. But even then, still better off just taking a silent one and doing it that way. Right? Silent ones are just amazing. They're just a great out-of-keyword purchase for you, for most of your Arcanists crews. So probably still go with the silent one even after all of that considered. But let's touch her up, right? It's a shame we don't want her to look like just like sad times. So let's go ahead and let me see if I can find the right colors. But while that's going on, you guys feel free to ask me, what's on this. Actually, why don't I just leak it? Well, let's leak it, and I really want to try it out. So Jason, if you're coming tomorrow, I might want to play this against you or Bing or whoever. Let's see. I need to add. Let's add a window capture. I don't see it. Is there screen capture? I don't see a screen capture. There's a desktop capture. Is it this? No. Is it? I don't know. I don't see. Yeah, I don't see it. That's weird. Did they? I think they changed the options here. Hold on. Let's try. I guess I can put it on. Um, Is it this one? Is it that? It is not that. Let's remove that. All right. Sorry, guys. I am trying to get. No, it's none of these. Maybe it's this one. That one? No, that's. I mean, I can do this. Can do that, but then I can't read comments. It's gonna be a little difficult. Is there a way to? Can I like pop this out? Oh, you can add Dead Man's Hand. Why isn't it letting me? Alright. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and I'll just let's just we'll go through an idea for this crew. So it's called Try It right now on my list, and here we go. So okay, so Try It. This is a Colette 2 crew. So you have Colette 2, 3 mechanical doves, and then I've hired in Ramos, who's going to cost me 16. All right, and let's talk about Ramos here for a second, because Ramos, he is a summoner, but what he really kind of excels at is killing his own stuff. So let's look at Ramos for a second, okay? So so defense 5, willpower 7, which is really nice, right? That makes him a much more difficult target for a lot of the more popular crews that like to target willpower these days. 5 move, armor 1, 12 health, which is pretty nice. And then protected construct. This is really nice. I can change the target to a friendly construct within 2 of this model, ignoring range, line of sight, and targeting restrictions. So that can really come in handy for for a number of reasons. Survival of the fittest is super nice. After a friendly model within 6 is killed, this model may draw a card. That's particularly nice for a couple of reasons. One of the cool reasons is with Colette, if a dove dies within 6 of Ramos, he draws a card, Colette draws a card. So you're adding 2 cards to your hand for a dove that can easily be resummoned by Colette. Creative salvage. Enemy models killed by this model drop a scrap marker in addition to any other markers dropped. That's super nice. Scrap mark, because he uses the scrap markers to make his summons, and then you bring in other models that use scrap markers. Like if the models have Trail of Gore, or if the models have power tokens, they can discard the scrap marker. Or if it's a steam arachnid, a mecha arachnid, it can discard that scrap marker to gain pluses on all of its flips. So really nice. And then legendary inventor, if this model is this crew's leader, which it's not sadly in this case, when hiring crews containing this model, treat constructs in their declared faction as though they were versatile. Okay, that means he can hire stuff like Corfi Duet. He can hire. The weird thing is he can hire Mei Feng without the out of faction. The out of keyword penalty because she's a construct, which is Cool. Save you that extra soul stone there if you were to go Ramos Mei Feng. Kind of cool. Um, and then, so let's look at his actions. Clockwork Arm, honestly, nothing much to write home about. 235 damage with the ability to drop a scrap on a book. It's stat 5, not really feeling that. Not the coolest thing. Um, a lot of other masters have basic attacks that are far more impressive than that one. Um, Electrical Bolt. Okay, this one is a little bit better because it ignores size 1 models for the purpose of friendly fire. So all your little steampunk arachnids, steam arachnids, they're not called steampunk arachnids, but things like steam arachnids, brass arachnids, mobile toolkit, he can just ignore them for friendly fire, just shoot into whatever they're in melee with. This becomes important later when you start looking at the Steam Arachnid's ability to reduce defense. So that's super nice. It's stat 6. 234 with a blast damage, kind of nice. Ignoring armor, that's the nice part. So it's not a high, doesn't have a high damage limit, but 4 damage on an armored model is pretty significant. Arcing Shock on the book. Take this action again, targeting a different model within 2 inches of the target. So you can do this when your opponent's clustered up. You can arc this shot off. So that's kind of nice. And then let's get to the tactical actions. Okay, so this is the action that I am really excited about for Ramos right here. Uncontrolled detonation. It's a stat 6 requiring a 4 unsuited. So any 4 you have, you can dump for this. The problem is that he is going to compete with Colette too for those 4s because she likes to use those to take actions with her decoy markers. But that said, if it's a 4 book, which is not a suit Colette cares for when she's taking that particular action, models within 2 of the target suffer 2 damage, then kill the target and draw a card. That's super useful. You can get up to you can get that damage up to 4 automatic damage, and you could you're probably going to draw 2 cards when that model dies if it's within 6 inches of Ramos. Okay, so 4 damage and 2 cards for a stat 4. Yes, it does kill a model of yours, but we'll get to why that's not such a big deal with Ramos. Again, he is a summoner, so it's not the worst thing in the world to change it to swap out a construct for that. Then you have on a book. Here's the nice part about this. So if it's a 4 book, you can stick an electrical creation in base contact with the target before it's removed. And the nice thing about this is that electrical creation, when you summon that electrical creation, it counts as already having activated. So it's not slow, it's just done for the turn. Does not net your opponent a pass marker. Okay? But what's cool is if you want to, you can do something like this. You do uncontrolled detonation, you blow something up in front, blow something up around Ramos. That's 2 damage on every model within 2. If you have the book, you drop an electrical creation in base contact with the target. Then you can cast it again, blow up the electrical creation. This time you don't need a suit because you don't want you can't make an electrical creation anyway, but you can just blow up the electrical creation immediately, do another 2 damage. The electrical creation, when it's killed, does another 2 damage. So that's 6 damage that you've just done to every model within 2. And you've got you're going to net probably, if it's within 6 of you, you're going to net 4 cards out of that. That's hot fire right there. Actually, if you ask me, that's a pretty damn good activation if that's the stuff that you're doing. Um, if you did it 3 times, that's 8 damage that you did. If you chose 2 separate targets to do that to, now that's 8 damage, and you're probably left with an electrical creation at the end of that. Um, and so again, not once per turn. So this is a lot of just again, it's unresistible damage. There's no resist. Um, it doesn't go around armor or incorporeal or shielded, so you still have all that good stuff. You can still stone to heal, but that's a lot of not flips, basically. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. Shockwaves are always. I like shockwaves. I use shockwaves a lot to just try to deplete my opponent's deck. This does not do that, but this puts a lot of just damage in front of them. Damage! You're not an internet expert on Malifaux unless you're jerking it hard to damage. Damage! So, yeah. They always talk, dude, so much damage, but that is actually a lot of just damage for a couple of 4s, right? That's a lot of damage. Anyway, then you have Arcane Assembly. Once per turn, okay? And this is your summoning spell. The target number is 10 book plus the cost of the named models, right? At a stat 6. So I would just say it's, so if you were playing the mother of all cards, the 13 book, then you can put on the board 9 soul stones worth of Machina models. That means you can summon in, for example, you could summon in a 3 different steam arachnids, or you could summon a soulstone miner and 3 arachnids, and 1 arachnid. Any combination up to 9 soulstones. I'm assuming most of the time I'm going to have a 10. I'll be probably playing a 10 in hand, which means I'll be at 16 book, which means I could bring in 6 soulstones worth of models. So probably a mech arachnid, maybe 2 steam arachnids. This isn't the hardest thing to do every turn if you have a book and a soulstone. It's really not difficult to bring on more models. That said, you are handing out pass tokens to your opponent, so be aware of that. If you flip the ram, because you're not going to play for the ram, if you stone for the book and flip a ram, you can give your steam arachnid models focused +1, which is kind of nice. So if you did if you had a 13 ram in hand, you might play that, put 3 steam arachnids down, and give them all focused +1. That's pretty nice. All right? And then you have, for your bonus action, construct only. It's a 1, 2, 3 flip on a 6. Not the worst thing in the world. It's kind of nice. All right? So, Ramos is my buddy. I really like him. Can't wait to play a little more Ramos. And let's look at the rest of the crew. Now, one thing to point out, when I build crews like this, like any Malifaux player that is very familiar with their faction, I've been playing this faction for my entire career playing Malifaux. These lists are not set in stone. Some people, you tweak and you think about your list. There are certain components that remain the same for the most part, and then you have tech picks, and so some of this will change. But anyways, let's look at what this is today. So Ramos is in there. Cassandra is in there mainly for understudy, right? She's my copy girl, and she's an incredible scheme runner if I want to run that. And then my silent one, which is one of my favorite things to take with Colette, because she gives you that ranged heal, which is super clutch, and her shooting is not terrible. Also, don't forget, if she kills a model, and I think it's enemy only, right? If she kills a model within 2 inches of an ice pillar, an enemy model, you get to have a soul stone. So there's another potential way to get yourself soul stones. Um, this model can also use soul stones. And here's the thing that some people um, don't, some people miss. Her ice mirror applies to the entire back of her card, which is so nice. So you can ice blast off of an ice pillar, you can ice pillar off of an ice pillar, you can heal off of an ice pillar, you can even heal yourself if you have a corpse marker within 2 inches of an ice pillar. The best thing is, other than this sweet, sweet mask up here, you're not really hunting for a lot of suits with her. Um, the additional healing burst I have used occasionally. That's kind of nice. But that swift action on the Ice Blast is pretty fire. It helped me perform really well in the previous game. All right, so Silent One's in there, and she is your repository for the Arcanist. Basically, you must take this upgrade if you're playing Arcanist faction. There's a couple of crews where I don't take it, but I feel bad for not taking it. But yeah, you stick it on the Silent One. This is just the best place to put that. I do have a Soulstone Miner in here. Doesn't mean I will always have a Soulstone Miner, but let's have a look. Let's see, why do I have a Soulstone Miner in this crew? It's because I have 2 Soulstones. That's bad. It's a bad, people are going, oh, that's terrible. This is a terrible crew list. It is kind of a terrible crew list, but it's fun. We don't care. All right, so how does this crew, we're going to make Soulstones with this crew. Colette can make a Soulstone. Cassandra can make a Soulstone by copying Colette. A Soulstone Miner can make a Soulstone. Even Ramos has the ability to make Soulstones, and he can actually make quite a few. That's kind of the jank of this crew, is this crew can make a lot of stuff. They can make a lot of things, which is super fun. Is it powerful? Kind of, but it's not like all the cool bee's knees, all the like super pro Malifaux academic scholars are like, oh man, because they'll just say, well, that's a waste. Just take this because it's like they'll just. Anyway. Take Hoffman too, bro. Anyway. I like this crew. They do fun, creative things. Got the Silent One in there. The Soulstone Miner can also, like you said, make me Soulstones. It can also be like either a late turn objective grabber, and it actually has a somewhat underrated fight ability, which is kind of cool, right? Mining Tools does not allow you to use defensive triggers, and it has an armor piercing. It has it has 3 triggers on it. So if you choose not to make a Soulstone, it's a pretty damn good model. And guess what? You could make a Soulstone with Siphon Essence. So if something is really, it's a corner case, but I have on occasion made my Soulstone that way. It is kind of a corner case, but it happens. This is super nice. This Thriller Driller action. It's a 3-inch range to destroy all destructible terrain. That's good when you're playing against things like Ivan or Rasputina, or those types of crews that make Titania. Is it Titania? Yeah, Titania will mess her up by removing her markers. Anyway, and then you have your drill actions. So, Soulstone Miner, always a good pick. Let's talk about the Brass Arachnid for a second. I am paying 3 Soulstones for a Brass Arachnid, which feels a little bad, not gonna lie. But this thing is kinda dope. Alright? Stats are nothing to write home about. But it is armor plus 2. Doesn't care about severe terrain. And then friendly models. So even though it's a size 2, get this. Friendly models attack actions ignore this model for the purposes of friendly fire. So it doesn't matter. Ramos's ability works great, but also, even Colette's, her ranged attack works great. Shooting at whatever the brass arachnid is in combat with. So super nice. Enemy models within 1 must discard a card to declare the disengage action. That's kind of nice. And it's insignificant. That's one of my favorite things printed on the brass arachnid card, because I don't care if it dies. It's fine. It's still going to give me a scrap and at least 1 card. So super nice. Hidden Blade, it's not the most exciting thing. 1/2/4, ignoring armor with the scrap marker. This is such a bad trigger, and I know I'm going to get it all day when I declare attacks with it. Because of my luck, I will always have a book there, and I'll be like, I need the books for Ramos's abilities, but whatever. Here's what we're really writing home about, kids. It's this ability here called Hasten. The TN of this action is equal to 5 plus the cost of the target, right? So it's basically just the card. The value of the card is what you have to pay for in order to, I'm sorry, the value of the model that you want to gain fast is the card itself. So unfortunately, you can never hand over fast to anything worth more than 13 stones, but handing fast over to a Corfi Duet for a 13 card, I don't know if that's worth it. But if you're looking at the sweet spots, right, 6 Soulstone models is kind of where it's at, or even 3 Soulstone models, like a Steam Arachnid. Giving a Steam Arachnid fast is kind of dope. It's a 12-inch move, or it's an 8-inch move and a 4-inch charge. It's kind of cool. And if you make it into base, guess what? -1 defense. It's kind of dope. So don't count that out. That's pretty cool. It's got its own. It also has a 1/2/3 field repair heal off of a 7. Not the best. But, and then it also has the temporary limb ability, which you're probably not going to use with the brass arachnid, because if you have a scrap or a scheme marker close to you, you need those for Colette, and you need them for Ramos as well. So sometimes you just top deck your Hasten, and that's pretty cool. So anyways, this is a cool tech little model. It is. I am paying 3 soulstones for it, sadly, but it's such a cool mini. I like it a lot. This particular build, I put 2 Steam Arachnids in, with the idea of I can summon a 3rd and make a Steam Arachnid swarm. I recognize that I could have just done that with the Brass Arachnid, but I want to do this the more exciting way, and try to pocket a decent book in my hand or stone for a book to make cooler stuff and start the cycle of scrap. So anyways, Steam Arachnids are not to be, do not sleep on these. These have always been good minions. They really have been. And, if you got a bunch of them, they can cause real problems. All right, so 5 defense, 4 willpower, 5 move. Armor +1 is okay, only 3 health, but that's fine. The latch-on ability is really what you are writing home about. Enemy models in base contact with this model suffer -1 defense. It used to be cumulative, but it's okay. We can live with this version of it. -1 defense is very important, especially on a model that is going to get in base with something, and then Ramos will have the ability to shoot. That's kind of nice. And then unimpeded and evasive. Those are all nice things, so you can't just chip away at it with your shockwaves and that kind of stuff. Tiny middle claws, nothing to write home about. But that overheat trigger is kind of hot if you do top deck that. That is kind of nice because they're going to suffer 2 damage in addition to the damage flip. And then you kill the model, and you're going to net a card from Ramos more than likely. So that's pretty cool. And then you have the Swarm Together ability. So, Steam Arachnid, I don't know. Is this list powerful? Not really. Is it fun? Hell yeah. This list is super fun because of the ridiculous things that you're going to have out on the board in turn one. If you do it right, and you have we'll call it let's call it an agreeable hand. If you have an agreeable hand, and let's practice. Let's do that. You can actually end up. Well, where am I going? You can actually end up making cool things. All right, let's experiment. Because yes, there are a lot of cards that you're gonna want in your hand, but what you're really banking on here with this crew is you're banking on things dying near Ramos and or Colette that give the right cards back to you. That's how you're gonna cycle. Right? It's kind of, yeah. It sounds gross and annoying. It's kind of powerful each time it kills them up. Oh wait, we didn't even cover. Shoot, we didn't even cover the cool thing. Hold on. Let's bring it back. All right. Let's bring it back. All right. Here we go. Before we mess around with our hand, let's bring it back. Here's what you need to see. The last thing you need to see is electrical creation. This is the hot fire, kids. Because it's a 4 cost, but you should never actually hire it. This is what Ramos does. This is what he... Yes. So again, off of his auto-destruct thing, you need a book. You need a 4 book specifically to make this happen. And to summon an electrical creation into base contact with whatever it is you blew up. Now, I believe you do the damage before you put the electrical creation down, so you did 2 damage, and then you stick the electrical creation down, which already counts as activated when it's summoned because of its mindless ability. 4 stats all around, nothing too impressive there, but the demise ability, explosive +2, right? So again, if you did this right, you could have just blown up the electrical creation immediately, if you need that damage immediately, to cause a net 6 damage on every model within 2, because it's going to be 2 for the original target, and then 4 for the electrical creation, 2 for the ability, and then 2 for the demise. That's pretty sweet. Unfortunately, it's not going to drop any markers when it's killed, but that's what you get. And then the Spark Shower is a cool ability that you will forget, that I forget all the time. Non-construct models that start their activation within one of this model suffer 1 damage. So there's that. It does have a melee attack action, which is very bad. Static Touch. Not a good use of its time. You might do it just to try to blow up or whatever. You might be better off just trying to take a disengage if you are engaged with something and you're not, you're within 1 but not within 2. Electrical Shock is not the worst thing, but it's kind of cool if you shoot it at a target that's got a Steam Arachnid in base with it. It's a 1/2/4 damage ignoring armor with the Arcane Shock trigger, which you shouldn't be playing for. Convulsions is a nice trigger, but I've never actually had that happen. The tactical action is hot fire, okay? Final Sacrifice. This is what I was talking about. This model may either draw 2 cards or add 2 soul stones, okay? So we're up to like 4 or 5 things in this crew that are generating soul stones potentially. Well, hold on. Let's see. Colette Cassandra can generate soul stones. The Silent One could potentially generate soul stones. The Soulstone Miner can generate soul stones. And now the Electrical Creation can generate soul stones. So 5 models in the crew can make soul stones. That's pretty hot. Uh, then this model's killed. So it's killed. So killing this using that ability nets you 2 soul stones. It nets you 1 to 2 cards. Um, wait, is it? No, it's just 1 card because it's 1 card if it's within 6 of Ramos. Um, so 2 soul stones, 1 card, 2 damage. That's pretty nice. It also costs nothing to do that ability. So that's super nice. So if you don't need to do 6 damage all at once, maybe you let the electrical creation hang out there for a turn, and then on the next turn, you walk it up, you die, you kill it and die, and then it, and then you get a bunch of soul stones. All right, pretty fire, boys, pretty fire. Okay, let's get rid of that, and let's start talking about what our opening hand looks like and what the first turn activations look like. Um, there's certain things the strategies are gonna kind of hurt this crew. So, like I said, it's not a very good crew for playing the game to win, but it's a very fun crew, as you can tell. It makes a bunch of stuff, and you get to do all kinds of kind of wacky garbage with them. I know the internet, it's not doing enough damage. You need to do damage. Anyway, let's uh, let's shuffle a Malifaux deck. People are going to be screaming up and down, why not just put a Corfi duet in there? Yeah, I know. Corfi duet. Way more economical than putting Ramos in there. But Ramos is fun. Did you not see? Look at all the cool stuff he can do. It's super fun. Ramos making a pigeon or blowing up a pigeon to net 2 cards and do 2 damage, summoning an electrical creation, which then Colette shoots to make another pigeon. Okay, is that not funny? That's funny, guys. Come on, man. Anyway, let's talk about an opening hand here. All right. Sounds fun, but is Bo-Katan fun? Yes. Okay, so let's deal our 7 cards because we do have Arcane Reservoir. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we need to Soulstone for cards. I know this is all theoretical. I know I'm going to get a much shittier hand when I'm actually playing this in a real game. Okay, 3 of Crows. There's my first Soulstone right there. That is awesome. A 12 Masks is decent. That might be my summon card. Let's see. This is a discard card, 1 Tomes. Don't care. 11 of Rams. That's a good, that could either be a defensive card, or in the case of, this might be my summoning card that I used to give focus. 6 Tomes is super nice. There's my electrical creation card, so we'll keep that. 5 of Rams and an 8 of Mask. This is actually a pretty decent setup. So I've got 1 Soulstone coming for sure. I might get lucky on the second one. So in this case, I'm probably going to have the miner create a Soulstone, and I'll have Colette create one. That way, Angelica can do other things. I might use this 8 of Masks to have Angelica gain fast. I'm not Angelica, Cassandra gain fast, which would be super nice. So I got some decent play in here. It's decent, right? That's pretty good. So let's try it again. But you see what, like, this is the kind of Malifaux is like such a theory crafter paradise that it's what makes the game fun is you build these contraptions like I built. This is my contraption. I'm gonna name the crew contraption because that's what this is. It's again, I know it's not gonna do well. People are gonna criticize me and tell me what I should actually be taking. But this is the fun of Malifaux, people. This is the fun of Malifaux. Do it one more time. All right. Let's see what kind of hand I get this time. There we go. Okay. All right. Hey, I got it back. 3 crows. 3 crows, 4 crows. Okay, this turn, Cassandra and Colette are making soul stones this turn. This could be my summon card. This is my electrical creation card. This is a waste. And that means I would give a 6 soulstone model fast, probably. Or just try to top deck. Right? I don't know. So that's like 3 soulstones right there. We're going to make, that's an ice pillar. Like, you just pay attention to stuff that you need. Actually, these are both ice pillars. Kind of nice. This is actually kind of nice draw. The only card that sucks is this one. It's actually kind of nice draw. But yeah, don't forget to kill your stuff. Right? So, I don't know. I'm excited. I kind of want to try it. This seems like it's a can make cool stuff out of it. Right? All right. Let's seal all this stuff and call it a night. But I hope you guys like my crew. I think it's going to be super fun. And again, it's just, all it really does is just makes a bunch of stuff. It makes stuff and blows stuff up. It makes stuff, blows stuff up. And Colette 2's running around, like, displacing your guys, making you mad. You know, all that fun stuff. So. Oh, I totally forgot to show you. Hold on. I'll show you in a minute. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, threats about my contraption. I think it's a lot of fun. It makes use of both of the allowables for the tournament. But no, it is not going to perform well. But who cares? It's going to be fun. Who cares? Maybe I go down to 1 soulstone and put that mobile toolkit in. Maybe. Sounds like fun. Put the mobile toolkit in and kill the mobile toolkit. Kind of fun. Alright. You are not coming in for sure, but you're cool. One day when I like Mei Feng again, I might play that. Oh my God, it's like a Pokemon. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm ready, I will bring in the best robots to fight with Bo-Katan. He's cool. You know, this Saboteur doesn't do anything, sadly. Dude. Yeah, kind of feeling all this. I think this is going to be super fun. And you guys know my secret little contraption here. But did you see, like, my card cycle with the way Ramos works should be pretty good, right? I should still be able to cycle good cards as stuff is dying. And Ramos is pretty durable. Colette is somewhat durable. Colette 2. She's going to be somewhat durable. All right. Okay. Let me show you guys one more thing before we go. Okay? And it's going to be my really, really cool Carnivale stuff that you guys saw in the last... Oh, God, I can't get her, can I? There she goes. In the last feed. So you get... So this is starter kit. You get 3 slaves. Okay. Uh-oh. I already lost a magnet on one of them. See if I can... Oh, that was cool. I was able to pick it up. Who lost the magnet? Not you. Not you. Was it just sitting around? Let's put it back. Okay. Then you get these fishy guys. These fish dudes are cool. You see how I put the cloths on them so that they look slimy. You get a head. All right, man. Thanks for tuning in, dude. Hope you can make it out for some games sometime soon, dude. Would be good to get you back out there. Get my Lord of the Rings back on. Here's my fish hybrid guy. Here's the big dude. The big boy. Look at this boy. Big boy. Rawr. They're fun. Carnivale stuff is very fun. My plan is to work on more Carnivale stuff this week in addition to whatever commissions I have going on. But yeah, that's where we're at, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me and talking the theory foes. I'm excited. You know, when you design something like that, it's super fun. You don't know if it's going to work. You're probably going to be more frustrated that not every single bell and whistle on my designed contraption is going to work, but and I have the entire problem of having another crew attacking me and wondering if I want to use my big cards for defense or not. So there's always that. Anyways, that is going to do it for our stream tonight, guys. Want to thank everybody for watching. Have a good night, everybody.